People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in each and every time. Now, I appreciate everybody who's been with all my watch-alongs and things today. The work rate today's been crazy. Now, obviously, while we all better yet was watching Belgium versus Italy, you saw the news of the rumours that Saliba will be having, he looks set to join Marseille. The Athletic have reported it. I'm going to bring it up shortly, people. I just wanted to say, it's about working hard, it's not about working hard, it's about working smart. But you cannot name a YouTuber with better work rate than me, people. Most people would have went to their bed and things, but we keep grinding. Then after this, I'm going to cull it up. And who knows, tomorrow there's a whole bunch of other streams. So make sure you're at the Ukraine versus England game. Watch along with myself, and also the game before that, Czech Republic versus Denmark. I'd appreciate if you all hit the like button. I'm not going to lie, get your opinions and all of those things in, people. But, it's been a long day. I'm cutting straight to the point. I'm not even going to sit here and cap with you lot. I'm going to just read it off, people. Please get your opinions in. Now, I'm tired of saying the same things about Saliba. I'm not going to sit here and cap to you lot, people. I did a video today. We saw that he was, withdrawn from the Olympic squad. With that in mind, we've now seen that he's going to Marseille. So that means he's going to have a pre-season. He returns for a third spell in France since signing for our club. Nice and Etienne. I don't mind him going out on loan, because reality is, if you're not going to play him, it is what it is. He's 20. The problem is you're building up this guy so much, and you say he's still part of our plans. We need to see a lot. Hopefully, he gets better at. I would have loved him to have gone to Brighton had the Ben White deal happen. You'd imagine there is some progress in relation to bringing in a centre-half for this to happen. But if he can go and play 20, 30 games elsewhere and return a 21-year-old ready, I'm all for that, people. The problem is the lack of clarity. We heard he was going to be given pre-season. He wasn't. I don't mind as long as he can play 20, 30 games, which he wouldn't get here, because I feel like I'm saying the same things again. But with us playing 40 games next season, 38 in the Prem at this moment in time, 2 in the FA Cup and the league. If you're not going to play Saliba, then loan him out, innit? Because you look at it, Marie and Chambers, they're probably going to be squad players. Gabriel, when he returns, he's going to be involved in the first team. Holding has probably earned his way into the team, and there's a next man. So there's 5 defenders. Saliba makes it 6. We haven't got the game time for it. So my only problem is what's going to happen next season, because, again, such is life. You can sign a new deal and be rubbed out, but Holding's going to be here. What are you going to depart Marie and Chambers now? Because you're going to have to give Saliba an opportunity, and he's got 2 years left on his deal. We're going to need to come to a resolution. I'm happy it's done early, because at least he gets a pre-season with Marseille. At least he's out the blocks early. At least that's one less thing to talk about, really and truly. So I don't mind it. I really don't. Again, as long as he can come back, he's still 21. I'm very impatient. I didn't want him to go to St. Etienne on loan again. I didn't want him to go to Nice on loan. I don't want him to go out on loan really this year. I want him to play. He should be fourth choice behind, Holding based on the current form. Definitely Gabriel and the new centre-half. And then when he earns his spot, does his thing. But with reality is, like I said, Chambers and Marie, they're going to be squad players. Go and give this man football. Now, I just think there's an elephant in the room not being addressed, but it is what it is, people. We'll have to see. To be fair to you, he's had two loan spells, and 2 of them haven't really been under Arteta. One was kind of decided and meant to happen. He's 21. We don't need to draw conclusions, but if Arteta really did want to play him, he'd play him. But I understand him needing to get regular football. And realistically, like I said before, hit the like button if you haven't. You're not going to bring in Ben White, who needs to develop. Gabriel, who back from the Olympics, who needs to develop, and give Saliba game time. It was living a fallacy. I personally think Arteta doesn't rate him, but I want to look back and say that's stupid. Hopefully Arteta's not here next year. But anyways, people, getting into the nitty and gritty of it, and actually what I've copied and pasted from The Athletic, while it's not officially confirmed or official confirmation, and it's disappointing because it's a young man with potential that Arteta hasn't given a chance to. It's a bit like, what are you going to do to make Saliba the better player? Smith Rowe the better player, Martinelli the better player, Gabriel, who the same logic to Saliba applies, he's just a bit more experienced, Ben White if he comes, so on and so forth. Exactly. If he's not going to play 20 games, don't do it. It is a bit unfortunate that you've hyped up the man and you're not going to play him. I wouldn't say I'm being positive or negative. It's just there is every reason to be negative about it, but I'm not going to get in a hitty fit because the man's 20. Half of you commenting right now, and this is, me, I'm very passionate when it comes to youth football. Half of you moaning right now, if he plays and has a shaky game, you lot are going to say he's overrated, because a lot of you do not understand. You don't know what you're getting from this guy with 10 games. He's got a good basis level, but you can already see some edges in his game. For instance, he's very clumsy, doesn't know when to find balance of playing out from the back and when to play simple. That whole Nice team he was in, they cannot defend corners. No one looks over their shoulders. He doesn't. These are things you'd expect a 20-year-old centre half to have. These are not things I'm vexed about. It's just there's no hiding place. I would have loved him to do this in the Prem, but I understand it. The problem is the clarity. This is the first year I can hold my hands up and say, all right, cool, you let him go out on loan early. Just make sure there's a platform for when he returns, if he does return. Please keep your opinions and so on and so forth coming. Please make sure you've hit that like button. We're on 43 likes. It's great, but it could be better. As you lot can see here, people, let me zoom in and get into it. Well, zooming in too much there. Arsenal defender William Saliba looks set to join Marseille on loan for the coming season in what would be a third spell away from the Emirates since his £27 million move 2 years ago. So if you deem that him going out on loan is well enough, but I would have loved him to have been part of this in some capacity. All we can do is hope for, you know, summer of 2021, 22, he's given an opportunity. He's 20, he's going to be 21. There's no need to panic. There's every need to panic when you see a lack of clarity from the club. But in terms of him not being there right now, there's every reason to. I know a lot of you are foaming at the mouth. But a lot of you that are vexed, you're going to bang on for Balogun to play. The minute he plays and he's shaky, you're going to kill him. Arsenal fans did that with Reiss Nelson. Chelsea fans did that with Hudson-Odoi. You know, there's nothing wrong with going out on loan, but it doesn't look good because it looks like mismanagement. You've invested in 27 million. You've said he's a Rolls Royce. You said he's the future of the club, and you don't really see the spells. Why does he keep going to France? I understand feeling healthy. I look at the Marseille club, a Marseille squad. There's a couple of young players there. You know, you've got Cousins there. Guendouzi's allegedly going there. You've got Encham there. You've got Kamara, Babaka Kamara, if he's still there. You've got a couple of young players. He'd be playing under a passionate manager in Sampaoli. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Last year, did Marseille not play in the Champions League? So they're a team trying to do stuff. They're a big club. Go and perform there. Go and do your thing. Apparently, he had the pick of clubs. I don't know if he had Premier League interest. If he did and he didn't go, I'd be very upset in that regards. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. As you lot can see here, he looks set to join Marseille on loan for coming season in what would be the third spell from the Emirates Stadium since his £27 million move 2 years ago. Well, man, I'm not going to keep reading that. That's a bit irrelevant, man. The 20-year-old had intended to compete for a place this time round, but with Arsenal attempting to sign Brighton and Hove Albion centre-back Ben White, it was decided he should head out on loan again. There is believed to have been interest in Saliba from England, France, Spain, Italy and Germany, with Marseille, Newcastle and Lille emerging as the leading contenders for his signature. The youth international is understood to have picked Marseille, and the Liga side will now try to agree a deal with Arsenal, which should not be problematic. So if that's where, you know, we've had a bunch of offers, that's what he's accepted. You know, it is what it is. You know, personally, I'm looking at Saliba a bit sideways. I think you should have went to the Prem. So, you know, that healthy question, Premier League fans, match of the day, pundits, when you boss it, why are you here? You know, why aren't you playing? Why isn't Arteta playing you? At the same time, I understand going back to France. You know, you get a year there, comfortable, you're in your homeland. It is what it is in that regard. You're building your experience. I would have felt it would have been easier to, not that he hasn't been in the UK, he's been here for 6 months. Well, he spent a 6-month period last year. So it is what it is. I don't know his specific reasons, but it is what it is. He intended to compete for a spot. The team have said it is what it is. You're not doing that, and they're going for Ben White. That tells me Arteta don't really rate him. I feel it's the two things. I feel Arteta don't rate him. I do feel fans need to wind their necks in a bit. Yeah, he's got potential. The man's 21, 22, 21 years of age when he returns, 20 now. He's got a lot to learn. Holding has the experience on him. Chambers, Saliba, you can't have him doing up the squad thing now next year if you're not going to give him consistent football. So I get it. You know, Chambers and Marie probably happy to play whenever, sort of thing. We bring in the new centre half. I hope when Gabriel's comes back from the Olympics, he's a key part of this. But Arteta, it is what it is. It doesn't matter if he's not an Arsenal signing. You know, Martinelli wasn't a signing. If you don't rate him, you don't rate him. You know, if you're a good centre back, it doesn't matter who signed you. He used Guendouzi at a point, weren't his signing. And Nketiah wasn't his signing. You know, Leno wasn't his signing. Aubameyang wasn't his signing. Pepe wasn't his signing. And to agree, Pepe looked like he was going away, man. Bro, I don't think you're reading. If I've clearly, bro, you're asking me a stupid question. Forgive me, but, you know, you can clearly see the articles there. It is late, so I don't really have much time for silly things. It doesn't matter if he looks gone, to be fair. But anyways, that tells me, to me fair, if you're signing a 23-year-old centre-half who is ahead of me but is still in development stage, it tells me you don't count on me. You know, it would have been nice to have seen him get a pre-season, but he's picked Marseille. Maybe it's been made abundantly clear from the jump he's going. Saliba would come straight into contention for a starting role at the Valladolid under the guidance of Sao Paulo, who will play in the Europa League. So unlike us, he's playing in Europe, so he'll be getting European football, playing consistently. Go and prove Arteta's stupid, and Guendouzi probably going there as well. And I rate it. If he's not going to play, send him out on loan. And like I said, man, so what happens next year? That's my thing. What happens next year? He gets this, like he builds on his foundations he did at St. Etienne and Nice. What happens next year? Ben White goes from strength to strength. Gabriel goes from strength to strength. Are you going to bring Saliba back to complicate matters? Are you going to break it down to Holding that it's a squad player thing? Are you going to move on Chambers and Marie? If I'm honest with you, they're probably not good enough. And Holding probably is someone that probably needs to be moved on beyond being a squad player if we get Arsenal back to where we're going, people. So he goes to St. Etienne. You know, there's a couple experienced players there. There's a passionate manager. You know, go out there and always have, you know, I'll be doing my loan report. So go out there and complicate things. Go and make Arteta look stupid for loaning you out. Go there with a point to prove. Now, it gets concerning because obviously he hasn't got too long to ride on his contract. And if he really is part of this club's future, then he should be getting games, people. There was another part to this article, people. Let me find what David Weinstein said, because I'm sure he said something else. I don't think it's actually being patterned there. But let me actually, just to make sure we've covered everything. Like it says, people, he looks on course to join Marseille, and barring any hiccups, he will complete his move there, people. Apparently, scrolling down, so I didn't copy and paste everything. Going forward, people, although there is internal confusion as to why Saliba... Although there's been internal confusion as to why Saliba has still not made a competitive appearance for Arsenal, his contract runs until 2024. So, you know, he's got 2-3 years left. There's no need to panic, but we're going to have to, you know, show him he's part of the future. Apparently, and he remains part of the club's long-term thinking. It should be stated that Saliba was acquired during the previous management and executive regime. So for me, like I've said, I think Arteta's looked at it. I just don't like you. You're not my sort of guy. You're not my cup of tea. I need to develop players. I'm not really on it. And I would have thought he would have jumped at the chance. I don't think he fancies it. Again, if Saliba doesn't work out, you know, because he's still contracted until 2024, there is reason to be uncomfortable, but there's no reason to panic. I'm looking at this whole club because whether it was previous regime or not, if Dortmund sack some of their staff tomorrow, they're still going to try and find young players. No one's going to turn around and say them young players just below the first team are not part of this team. So I want to see how we're developing him. And end of the day, you spent 27 million, which might as well be 27 billion to us because we're meant to be broke. And we haven't seen it. He hasn't even touched the first team. You know, from you're not playing him in the Europa, clearly Arteta's not convinced. You know, to be fair, allegedly Arteta wasn't convinced on Holding and a lot of players, so you can change his mind. But you have to give man an opportunity to do such, people. It is what it is. Saliba got a red card on his Arsenal debut against MK Dons, yeah? You're chatting nonsense. But anyways, continuing, people. Moving forward, I think that's the only thing. Apparently, Arsenal desire to recruit in central defence would probably have meant Saliba vying for minutes alongside a new addition, as well as Gabriel, Holding, Marie, Chambers. They failed to qualify. Now, I'm not being funny, but beyond Marie and Chambers have the experience on him, and he's not going to play as much. But, you know, he should be in your thinking beyond that, you know. I don't think 3 years on loan is a joke. I don't think it is. You look at Christensen. I just think the lack of clarity Arsenal have been doing is a joke. You can be mad at him, really and truly, because, again, you're a head coach. I know he's become a manager. You're going to have to work with players. Are we not going to sit here and think there shouldn't be similar players like Martinelli, who you might not be your signing, but you're going to verify? You know, there's many of those signings. You're meant to, that's where the dynamic is, sort of thing. So whether it's his signing or not, I'd rather, man, just be honest and say you don't rate, man. We're calling it is what it is. I think the club would have had permanent offers. Maybe this move is to put him in the shop window. Hopefully it's to return to the club. All I'm saying is, I've got little patience for that defense. Sort it out, Arteta. I don't care who the defensive partnership is. Sort it out, because there's 38 games. There's too many unanswered questions at this football club. As long as Saliba plays as many games as possible, gets Europa League experience, I hope he comes back a better player in it. Because as much as I want to develop these young players, I want to give Balogun opportunities, Saliba opportunities, I kind of need instant impact next season. We need to get Europe, whether that's Europa or the Champions League. We all know the one we prefer in it. please make sure you're hitting the like button. But, you know, it's even that article by The Athletic, let's be honest, David Ornstein's clearly been given the verification. Him and Sammy Mokbel are the club's mouthpieces, really, and Charles Watts to a degree, you know. That told you a bit of everything. There's internal confusion as to whether he's made his debut. Some people think he should play. Some people think he shouldn't. The man whose opinion matters is Arteta, and we haven't seen anything. You know, it said that he was signed under the previous regime, which should be irrelevant. Our club we're meant to sign young players, people that could be on the future. You've got a bloody good young centre half who's a bit raw. Just say you don't want to use him or loan him out. So his signing or nothing, it means F all. Martinelli weren't signed under no one. So just say you rate a man and you don't. It's one of them ones. So it's a bit of an internal confusion, but he's contracted until 2022. So let's see what happens in that regards. But barring any hiccups, he looks set to join Marseille, folks. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, people. Where are we at in terms of likes now, people? We're at 63. I appreciate you guys. What are you guys saying? There are so many games now for him to get game time. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. Make him grow with Emirates grass. To be fair with you, you know, there isn't too many games for everyone. I wouldn't be gutted, but it is annoying when you've got a player of the future and things like that. I don't think that's fair to Arteta because, you know, you look at some of these young players, they're not suffering from lack of confidence. I think, let's be fair, let's criticize Arteta rightly so for lack of clarity or lack of balls really to play the guy or use him or throw him in at any capacity. I think if he gave him his debut and played him and whatnot and he went out on loan, many people would just say, all right, cool. When you've made every excuse under the sun and I need to, as much as I want instant results, I need to see a lot from Arteta because he's buckled. When it's come to playing young players, he's only played them at a push. Saliba, you know, Saliba's not been used. Smith-Rowe really was used at the end. Martinelli, you had to put a gun to his head really to throw him in, you know. So I know you can't have too many kids. You can't have too many experience. There needs to be balance. But I haven't seen enough long-term foundations played or just bravery. Whatever you say about Wenger would play, man. You know, many other players would play, man. They're willing to take the rough with the smooth if they play well or bad. Arteta's buckled and went for experienced guys who have let him down. So, you know what? Like I said, Arteta, if you need to get things spot on this window. I mean, this preseason. If Saliba's not in your plans for now, do your thing, you know. But come December, if things are looking shaky, you know what, go on, man. I want him in the squad now. I want him to work and earn his place over time for a full 90, grow and learn leadership, make Arsenal his own. There's many ways of doing such. While I agree with you, it's not the only way. I would have preferred for him to go Prem, man. There's nothing wrong with going back to France, really and truly. But as I said, should have, you know, less question marks are answered if he goes to the Prem, where we could see him week in, week out. See, where many fans could see those mistakes. Because let's be real, let's not lie. While a lot of you are saying the right things, and I agree, there's many of you that are chatting shit. Let's be real. A lot of you are vexed for the sake of it. You don't actually know what going in relation to young players. You actually don't know Saliba. You know, I'm not saying I'm an expert. But what you've seen the loan reports, watching man week in, week out for how much he is now. You know, the minute we signed him and he stayed at St. Etienne away from the loan that season, watched him last season. So a lot of you just cry for the sake of it. A lot of you calling Balogun the Messiah. You ain't seen 10 games. You're gonna turn on the guy. I hope that doesn't happen, but that's the reality of football. That's the reality of football. Guys cry for people to play, and it is what it is. While I think a lot of you are right, there's some of you that are moaning for no reason. There's every reason for it to put hellfire on Arteta and ask serious questions about Saliba not staying at this club. But there's every reason for him to go out on loan. You know, and some of you don't even know what you want. You just want to moan, man. Some of you are just chatting nonsense, really. But it is what it is. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, man. Bro, he don't need... Obviously, you would love experienced centre-backs to guide him. All I care about is the manager at St. Pauli. How are you developing young players? You got some young players around. You got to make it happen. Work rate unmatched is actually mad. To be fair with you, man. Work rate, it's about working hard, not smart. I just thought, let me do this thing, man. You know, you lot are moving harsh on Arteta, innit? Bro, they will probably extend his deal if they're not going to move him, but he's contracted until 2024. There's at least 3 years. You'd imagine next year's when the deal starts. So it is what it is. Yo, DG, best YouTuber in the scene, sending good vibes, my guy. I'm not too sure if that's true, but I appreciate that. I like it. Saliba is still an Arsenal player. I was afraid Arteta could sell him. I wouldn't draw the line on that yet, man. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if he leaves permanently last year, but he needs regular game time. He needs to be thrown to the wind. Like I said, I would have loved him in the Prem. Even if he gets 30 games next season, he's going to come back and be more experienced. He would have, you know, as you can see, but still be inexperienced. He's still going to, but the man's 21. The man's 20. He needs to learn harsh lessons. You lot don't understand these defenders need to learn harsh lessons. Half of you do. Half of you that are crying for him, you call a man overrated when he plays against these Jamie Vardys, these Ashley Barnes, these poachers, these target men, and he gets pulled the next one. He makes a poor pass, or he gets absolutely physically dominated like he did when he played Diallo of Mets, or he's switched off at a corner. You lot don't understand that. And that's what pees me off about people when it comes to young players, because if you can understand that and you're prepared to take that, then fair play. But half of you don't. Half of you would say he's overrated. How could he this? There's no pleasing some of you. And that's what bugs me. And the same has happened with a lot of these young players. The same is going to happen with Balogun. A lot of you say, oh, Balogun needs to play ahead of Laka. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. I somewhat would love him to. But you don't know what you're getting with Balogun. Yeah, listen, he's played senior football. Let's be real. Dundalk, our 23s could probably pump them in, you know. When he's missed a chance or he's lost the ball and the other team's gone up and scored, you lot are not going to care about he's a young player. That's the reality of it. That's why Saliba has to be thrown into the wolves. That's why I would have loved him in the Prem. And you learn a lot of lessons in Liga. So I don't mind it. My first preference, as I said, would have been to send him to Brighton with this Ben White thing, because you look at Brighton's development and their clean sheets, and not necessarily clean sheets, but the defensive structure and all them statistics. There's a lot for Saliba to have learnt there. There's a lot for him to learn in his homeland. But, you know, if we want him to thrive in England, let man stay in England. I feel you would have learnt a lot about at Brighton. Hassan Hutu would have given you a lot of game time at Southampton. Obviously, Newcastle's a massive club, and them thing there would have been a lot. And I think Saliba's got the mentality. Look how he's always up for the derbies. Look how he was a leader amongst young men at Nice. Personally, I don't know if Nice ever offered, and I don't know what European football's European football, and that's a better stage. You know, who knows what group games Marseille is gonna have? You know, I don't even know in the Premier's in the league, in the Europa, but you get it. There's every stage of that. But I felt, you know, Todibo looks like he's staying permanently at Nice. I think they had a good partnership. I like this, what Nice's management is. It's a lot of young players. I wouldn't have minded him playing there, doing his thing there, but it is what it is, man. He's got, you know, he looks like he's going Marseille. We just have to suck it up, man. And, you know, another loan is important for him because we don't have European football. I think you're right, but you need to add on, and Arteta is going to give him less games. Yeah, man. Interesting comments, man. Away from the people that are just moaning for the sake of it. If you're like me and you're vexed because you like young players, fair play. But some of you are just not moving nonsense. And I can't lie, man. I've done a lot of streams. I ain't got a lot of this. I ain't got no time for it. No time for it. Bro, fans overrate Martinelli. I love Martinelli, but fans say, play him as a striker, play him as a striker, play him as a striker. He plays and he's anonymous against West Brom. Oh, don't play him as a striker. How is a man going to be a good striker if he don't play against powerhouses? How is a man going to be a centre-half unless you give him regular game time? Dash man to the win, you know? But if I play against a striker and I take my eyes off him and he scores, I know I can't do that again. If I think I'm stronger than him and I try to barge him, he moves to me. If I think I'm quicker than him and I get breezed in a foot race, I know what the problem is. And what I like is the fact that he's chose I don't like it, but I like it. I would have liked him to go to the Prem or the club to force it. If he's chose Marseille for whatever the promises are, comfort to a fool. But if the managers, you know, said all the right things, told him how he's going to improve him, how he's going to utilize him, because let's be real, he did help with development of player Stampoli at Seville. I'm all for it. Why would you not want to learn off him, bro? You arguably, he's got more to teach you than Arteta. So cool. But I would have loved him to have gone in the Prem easily, quick thing. And let's hope, man. You know, we have to give as much as I'm not defending Arteta, not defending him. We have to give him the luxury that at the end of the day, my man's getting loan reports and my man's seen him in pre-season. Do I think that's good enough? Well, it is what it is in that regards, man. So yeah, man, interesting comments, man. Spinazzola broke his Achilles. That's deep, man. Bro, exactly. You're getting spun a lot, but that's going to teach you. You're playing against grown man. You're getting ripped. That's going to teach you. Bro, chat to Cellini. You think Cellini can't give you bare examples of getting ripped? Bonucci of getting ripped. It's a bit ahead, but for Cannavaro, Maldini, John Terry, not that I like that you. Rio, Sol Campo, you think they can't tell you the time they will torn new ones? How can you be good? If you're just in your comfort zone or you're in things, your environments you're good at, you're not going to get to that next level. And I think that's where people fail to understand. You want these players to develop. A lot of people don't understand the hard graphs, the hard yards, what needs to happen. It's a bit of a shame in that. you know, and that's what jars me. Hit the like button, people, man. It is what it is. That's that in relation to Saliba, people. You know, please make sure you're hitting the like button. Also, make sure you're at the watch alongs tomorrow, people. You know, you can't name someone with this work rate. Come on, people. Make sure you're at the Czech Republic versus Denmark one. If you're not, drop a little like button and things like that. Bro, you know what? He's the next him. You know, I like this is where the problem goes with potential. He does have a lot of potential, but he's the next Saliba. You know, this is where the problem is. This is the problem with modern day football. People say these mad things and then start crying, and and the club don't help it as well when they're doing all these social medias, making a big song and dance with a private jet and all of these things. Let the young man develop, temper expectations. You cannot overhype a man, publicly pursue this man, and not give the fans clarity. Whether you played him at some point last season or you made it abundantly clear he needs a couple of years on loan. You look at Christensen in the Bundesliga, it can happen. While I would like him to play football, there's many ways of development. What works for one man isn't going to work for the other. Once again, my biggest problem is there's been a lack of clarity, and ultimately, like Saliba and a lot of them, when it's become abundantly clear the experienced players can't do it, I would have loved these guys. It's clear Arteta don't really rate him, but, you know, hopefully he's not here next year unless he does a miracle. Is where it is in that regards, though, man. But, yeah, man. He might very well be the next Varane, but, you know, a lot of you would talk about Varane's good games. You remember when he got bullied against Hummels in a couple World Cups ago? Boy, is what it is, man. Bro, everything's on the table, bro. Everything is on the table. Everything is on the table. You know, I think his days are numbered, but equally, I still think he could have a future, and that's because we're getting mixed signals out the club. Mixed signals could be an answer in that regards. Think about it. If you're with a gal and you're giving her mixed signals, you might like her, you might not, but you don't like her enough. You get it? Or the gal is giving you one, they might not like you enough. If man likes Saliba, they would have moved heaven and earth. They would have said no. You know, you've heard Nketiah was going to go out on loan once. The man there said no. You know, Holding wanted to leave. The man there said no. Saliba, Arteta don't rate for whatever reason. And for me, give me a reason not to talk about Saliba. Make sure Ben White and Gabriel do their thing. And show me a better Saliba next year. I don't want the man sold, but every option is on the table, man. It's nice that he's gone out on loan and he's still under contract, but it is what it is, man. I don't think you're watching Saliba because he might have the potential, but he would not be the best centre half right now at Arsenal. You're chatting nonsense. Like, you're chatting nonsense. He's got potential to be the best, but, you know, do you honestly believe we're playing Brentford tomorrow? Right now, Saliba is the best centre half at Arsenal. Come on now. We're allowed to be aggrieved, but let's be serious now, man. DG Nation, you man are letting me down. A lot of you normally have common sense, but, you know, a lot of you are moving mad. And it's too late for it. I can entertain it when it's 11:30 a.m. I can't entertain it at 10:28. I can't. I appreciate opinions, but I don't appreciate nonsense, man. And even that, you can't rule out going on loan again, which I don't want him to go out on loan again at 22. But yeah, if he can, you know, get up to speed and, you know, via Nice and Etienne and Marseille and have a go, I don't mind. Yeah, we want him to play in the Prem, but at the end of the day, how many Gabriel never played a kicked a ball of Premier League football and he came and done all right. As much as I've been banging on him to play in the Prem, let's not reinvent the wheel. Apart from the language being different in the league in another country, football is football. Let's not overcomplicate what we don't need to overcomplicate. Like I said, for me, he goes to the Prem, but it doesn't have to always be that way, man. It don't. Please make sure you're hitting the like button, man. Less about Saliba now, man. Less about Saliba, man. What's the timestamp? Let's go with 19 past. 229 people locked in. I appreciate you late ones, man. I appreciate it. Please hit the like button. Bro, I don't rate Arteta's man management. There's plenty of good ones, but there's too many things I can sit here as an honest fan and criticize or ask a question, you know? You know, even a couple like what's going on there, because, you know, I look at it, you know, even the guys he rates, why are they all snaking you? You know, you wanted to allegedly give Mustafi a new deal. Why is he snaking you? You know, why does Xhaka say, all right, fuck that, I hear what you're saying, but I'm going to play under Jose Reed, boy. We hear Leno wants to, well, the new rumor is Leno new contract, but we hear he wants to skate. Bellerin as well. These are all guys that you hear are key parts, big characters, leaders, all these things. They're allowed to do what they want. They got no allegiances to Arsenal. It's a job for them. They've got one career, do your thing. But why is that? Why? And the thing is, for me, there's too many. Oh, what's going on with Guendouzi? Why did, you know, what happened with Ozil? What happened with Mustafi? What happened with Socrates? What happened with these guys? What happened with that guy? What, you know, what happened with Aubameyang? There's too many of that. And at some point, you have to look at the manager. It can't all be you, you know. And for me, I think of people that need allegiances. I don't see a squad that looks young and hungry like the manager's alleged to be. And I think you can do that with, if you bring in the Ben White, you play Gabriel, you play Tini, you have long-term thoughts of what you're doing with Saliba, Balogun, Martinelli, and the rest of them in mind. I don't always see that. That's what pees me off about this club, because we're meant to be young, self-financing. We're meant to have a mandate of a young player in our first team every 2 years. So what's going on? What's going on? You know, you can't sign. The problem is, for me, this is the first time I've seen proactive steps in relation to Saliba. We heard he could have rent Rennes last year. He turned it down after feeling some sort of way, and then we messed up with St Etienne. But you can't just, it's like we always say, you sign a creative man, you expect magic to happen. It don't work like that. There needs to be active steps. As I said, you want Martinelli to be a striker, he has to go through those tough times. Saliba have to go through those tough times. Centre mids have to go through those tough times. Goalkeepers, I know De Gea is a bit shaky now, but do you remember when he landed in the Prem, he found it tough. Then eventually it started banging for him. You don't get anywhere with adversity. Come on, people. If you look riding a bike, how many of you just hopped on the bike and started riding? I didn't, because I dropped on the floor in Pim's Park hella times. Dad looking at me, get up. Wanted to cry and ball, get up, get up. That's what life is. Now a man can ride a bike. Like, do you get it? You have to go through those moments. You have to go through those moments, you know? It is what it is, man. Arsenal Football Club, man. What a club. But yeah, man. Go. I don't like my timestamps like that, so I'm patting this up. I big up everybody that's locked in, man. I've seen a lot of positive comments on my work rate and things like that. I really appreciate them comments there, man. Pardon me. Sorry, folks. Let me see if my other videos uploaded temporarily, man. Yeah, big up everybody who's locked in. I'm going to get back into it in a sec, people, but need to pattern up something. Sorry, folks. I'm still here. Get your opinions and them things there locked in. Yay. I don't know about no unmonetized YouTube, but I work bloody hard. You better monetize my vid. Sorry, people, man. You gotta get how you live, man. Give me 2 secs. I'll be back on it. Keep your opinions and then teams coming. We got to talk about REISS Nelson, this BS about Ramos, where it's not happening, but nonetheless, it wastes some time and humors us in what really isn't a laughing matter for Arsenal fans. What I hope is that, as I said, man, you'd imagine that we're going to see a centre half arrive within the next, I don't want to say days, but in the next period. That would be, be lovely to have one to start pre-season with. But Ben White's with England. He might be dumped out tomorrow, which we hope is not the case. But you get the point, people. You get the point. And I appreciate everyone who's been messing with the content and supporting the thing today, man, because it's been content overload, really and truly, innit? Hit the like button if you haven't, man. And this is the problem, Best. You said it again, specific pathways, All right, you need to go on loan now, but you're going to be certain, in this year, you're going to be there, or you're not ready now, you're going to be this. We don't know what we did. Well, Saliba's gone on loan, but just until today, we didn't know what we're doing with Saliba. We didn't know what's happening with Maitland. You don't know what's happening with Joe. There's speculation of going and staying and going and staying. We don't know. It's all halfway house. And fundamentally, it comes with, we don't know what we're doing with these young players. We don't. That's why Bear Man are in the halfway house. You look at Chelsea. They say, all right, cool. Gilmore, you've been doing your thing. Last season, you was in and amongst. Go Norwich now. Go give us a game and show us levels, and then come back the following year. And there's many other examples of such. Oh, Saliba's playing, he's doing his thing, man. DG, show us that goal. Fuck it, man. Why not, man? Let me find it.
Against this right back, Charlie.
Oh yeah, man, love for that. You lot make some, bro. Half Bear Man ain't kicked the ball, just moaning for the sake of it, bro. Arteta might be, Arteta just scared. He's pragmatic, man. He don't take the risks, bro. He has to. I mean, I can't sit here and say he doesn't take risks because I in the semi-final. There's a fine line between risk and stupidity, but he did go with a false 9. But I think real risk, he's buckled under it, man. Arteta could be the best man management in a few years. He's still learning his craft. That's true. But right now we're being pained, isn't it? Is what it is. And this is it, sir. At the moment, Ben is ahead of Saliba. Holding is ahead of Saliba. Saliba can lap them, but right now a lot of players are ahead of him. That doesn't mean he ain't got the potential to be a madness. I'm not trying to see Saliba play right back. Find a proper right back, man. Because when you're throwing him in at right back and man are struggling and man are saying he's shoehorning him, yeah, it'd be a good experience. But listen, play man at centre half, man. I just think he rates Neeks personally. That's just me, man. I don't think he rates the man like that. Like, it seems like anyone with a bit of a chip and a swagger, he's not really with them, man. Like, that's just me. I don't want to speculate, man. Sure, if Saliba come with some jack-ups and some brazy glasses and, you know, wasn't a saucy guy, I'm sure he would be playing, man. I don't think De Ligt has peaked young, but he's still learning his craft. Look at De Ligt. You know, look at the criticisms he's facing. He's gone to Italy, and I said it the same thing. Like, you've gone to Italy and you've got a red card like that. Man, a young man. I hope we can all sit here and laugh about it in you know, laugh about this. Yo, remember you, man, and us, we thought it was done for Saliba, but who knows, man? Who knows? It is what it is in that regards, folk, man. Was Fofana ready? Them man there had an active plan. Fofana's more ready than him. They gave Fofana a chance. We all know he should be given a chance. And even then, people don't talk about when Fofana fucks up, like in the FA Cup or like the dodgy games. They all just want to wank when he has the games of the thing. But the problem is, unlike Arsenal, Rodgers had the balls to play him, had a system, had people that he could, if it went left, could have pulled him out of it, you know. He's and a clear system of how to improve players, like you've seen with James Justin, Siyinchu. Obviously, away from him, you've got Kolo Toure you can learn from. You've got, well, you had Wes Morgan, he's retired now. You've got Johnny Evans there. That's again my trailer thought why I'm saying send a man to Brighton. You know, you have Dan Burn, you know, football purists, a man that understand football. You understand, don't look at the name. You can learn a lot there. But we'll have to see. I think he can learn a lot under Sao Paulo, but that's it. As I said, when it comes to the going gets tough, Arteta's not trying to do this thing. And I think these guys, you can't build a new mentality with the same old players. I think Saliba, Balogun, Martinelli, Saka, Tini, the newcomers like Partey and Gabriel, these are the guys, if you want to build up a new mentality, it is what it is. We hope Saliba can be there, man. I wouldn't be so sure he ain't signing a new contract with us, but I'm pessimistic. We can never say never, man. I think he might have stayed if there was some European football, but it's dead, isn't it? There's no European football. So, you know, he's upgraded, fam. Man, I'm playing Europa League. You better play in Europe, bro. Hopefully he gets a move to a big boy team and he shows levels, but it is what it is. You know me, I'm going Dozier Saliba FC, man. We got DG hit the like button. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, and then they have tough moments, and then these same fans are gonna cry about them, man. I do, like I said, there's no excuse for me not to give him game time. But if we're going to sit here, bring in another centre half, Gabriel, who I think is the same stage as Saliba, slightly more ahead, I need to see him playing. You're only going to give Chambers and Marie. All right, cool. As much as I want Saliba to stay, all right, cool, loan him out. But make sure there's a plan. And man, man aced that job interview, man. Serious lies were told, boy. Serious dreams were sold. Serious dreams, man. I mean, it's Flo, please be sensible with what you're saying. You know, there's no need to accuse man of racism. And let's be real, if the club has done one thing, you know, the club have clearly, you think the club are not going to look after a man with his mother. Go and look at the research of what they've done. Let's be a bit fair and stop being stupid now. And let's be a bit sensitive. Talk about his football. Do not talk about his family, what you know you did and didn't do. To kind of insulate that or kind of say or claim, better yet, that the club, you know, haven't done anything when a man's mum died or whatever. Let's not lie, because Arsenal might not be Arsenal. We can criticize him about not having chances, but let's be really honest. You think the club isn't going to do all they can? In fact, it's documented that they have. That's one thing we don't need to talk about. Talk about our man's family, man. What are we doing, man? That's silly. Come on now, you're better than that. Don't let your anger for Saliba not being involved you know, lies. Bro, if I'm Saliba, I'm not signing a new deal. Unless you say, all right, cool, I'm being used now. They're probably just playing him into the shop window. You know, Saliba could be going out on loan to leave on a perm next year. Because he's gonna have 2 years deal. Why are you gonna sign? They lied to you. Why are you gonna sign, bro? Hey, DG, drag the podcast out a bit more. I need them to get me through. Well, bro, I can only talk about what I got to talk about. I appreciate that, man. Let's not draw speculation because, you know, Saliba and Guendouzi's futures do not have to be into that. They could have just picked the club for the sake of it, but it is what it is, man. Bro, they're just going to, as long as they can get their 27 million back, the club won't care. I wouldn't go as far to say it's beyond the French league because you can't. This is what don't make sense, you know. You lot cry about saying he's outgrown this league or whatever, but half the targets you lot want, they're in the French league. They're young as well, so it's like I'm not criticizing you. I'm just trying to find common sense with it. Like it's not making sense. You can't say, "Oh, man's outgrown it," and then every year you're crying about man that are the same age and buying them. Like it's not making sense. I'm pretty sure half the players you want, like someone said, Samore, bro. Look, it's Samore. Come on, now. Let's be a bit sensible, man. 42 shoes, 100%. He did. How many times have them risks paid off? 2 risks got right. How many times did we go with William up front or William in the 10? You know, just like every Kieran Tierney signing works. How many have we got wrong? Hey man, I was enjoying the Euros and I got drawn out into speaking about Arsenal, bro, on a Friday night. Mad thing. Mazzolini, man. Low-key bossing these discussions consistently, King Bear Rush, and I appreciate. I only give you what I feel. There's every reason to be vexed about this. There's every reason to see sense. We don't know. There's every reason to go out alone or stay, man. Me, I just think you've got an inexperienced manager. You don't really know what he's doing, or it's not evident. You're always going to have these problems. You're always going to have these problems. You know, he's still discovering himself. You look to the left, you look to the right. You've got no angles to guide him. You've got no internal pressure. Because although I think a player should never be forced upon a manager, you see it in many cases. Man need to say, no, we spent 27 million and you talk about developing. You got a tune out of Mustafi. Bloody get a tune out of this, man. If you can't, question marks, you know, are they sitting there and they saying, all right, you say Martinelli can play everywhere. How are you getting that? You have said Maitland-Niles can play everywhere in midfield. Why didn't you play him? I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just saying our questions being asked of Arteta. You played this guy and sold this guy. Why did you do that? It's just, it's a bit like Gareth Southgate for England. Southgate's done well, but you've not really done anything for England. They're talking about giving you a new deal to go beyond the World Cup. This can advocate a lack of urgency and a lack of doing things properly. And that's my problem. And that's something I've accepted. I've accepted that I could probably do a lot better than not as a manager, but with some of these decisions. And I am really falling out of love with the club, man. Not away from this, just it's not reflecting anything, man. Saliba would be my 4th choice centre half if I'm the manager, personally. Or he would go, I'd loan him to the Prem, or I'll be real, he'd be my 4th choice centre half. He's got the potential to be 1st choice, but right now, Gabriel be ahead of you. The new centre half would be ahead of you. Holding based on last season will be ahead of you. Probably Chambers and Marie, one of the two will be ahead of you. But you train, you get your chance. Take it once you get it. It's that simple. But Arteta, you know what? You cried about preseason. You said you needed a preseason. If loaning him out and bringing in this guy, cool. Just make it come in August. You're looking, in December, end of December, early January, you're looking like you can get top 4 European football. If not, you have to go. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's football simple. You don't do the job, you have to fuck off. I wonder how much of in terms of a loan fee we've actually got for Saliba as well, really, car. You know what? It can't be more than 1-2 million. No, we're hardly the 27 in that. Exactly. 20 games is better than none, but it's going to be 21. And I just think the lack of forward guidance is the issue, man. And he's fine. I shout to my 4th Street thugs, man. We ain't signing Ramos, man. Bro, man, I have to cool off, man. Man, I have to cool off, bro. Man, I'm foaming, bro. Don't let Arsenal draw you out at 11:15 on a Friday for those of you in the UK and whatever time. Don't let them make you mad that you're foaming at the mouth, bro. Go call a girl or, you know, just relax, man. You just watch Euro. Just relax, man. Don't let them vex you. I'm letting them vex me. So I'm telling you, look, you know, I wish I might just follow my own advice. One sec, people. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually here. I would just like to charge my phone, folks. So it is what it is in that regards, man. It is what it is. Firmly. Oh man, bro. I don't think that's fair, but yeah, it is what it is, man. He did. Pep Foden, to be fair, Pep knew what he wanted to do. I don't know with Arteta. He knew what he wanted to do. He let people chat. He knew what he wanted to do. You don't get the vibe that we know what we did. Forget Saliba. You don't get the vibe we know what we're doing with half of these players. To be fair, you're right. He did. But why are you talking about giving man a new deal before he's even done anything? It's mad. It's exciting though. It's exciting though. You know, it's gonna be a madness, but it's exciting though. I don't know if it's tears or whatever. I don't know if it means the Ben White deal is closed because really and truly, in pay, I think yes, on one hand, but on the other hand, if they don't really rate Saliba, he doesn't factor in, does he? Like he was always going to go out on loan, so it doesn't matter if we brought in a centre half or we've got one in it because excluding him, Chambers probably played ahead of him. You got Holding, Gabriel when he comes back, Marie's there. That's 4 centre halves, and we're only playing 38 games. You'd have a fifth if a new one coming. So on one hand, I think it does surely means a fullback. I mean, a centre half is arriving, but on the other hand, does it? I don't know. I think a centre half needs to arrive away from Saliba, as I've said, but I don't truly know. Do you get it? It's one of them ones there, man. Interesting though. Interesting. Very interesting. Hit the like button if you haven't, people. Big up you lot, man. Where are we in terms of likes? We're at 160. Like, keep running that one there up, people, please. Chambers is a centre half, man. Don't force it. Chambers is a centre half. Holding the Chambers or centre halves. He could do a job. Don't force it. Don't force it. You know he's a centre half. Anyways, though, folks, man, let's crack on, car. It's getting kind of late, man. But yeah, let's move on, man. Cool. It's getting late and there's too much bullshit. But what else have we got to speak about here? What else have we got to speak about? Sergio Ramos. Arsenal want to be kept on developments on Sergio Ramos. Let's go. So yeah, as I said, Sergio Ramos. Let's go, man. Where is it? You know, Arsenal. You know, Arsenal getting Locatelli and them thing there, man. Bro. Just because he's filled in at right back doesn't mean the man is in the centre half. Do you know how silly you are? Like, he was brought to this club long term to be a centre half, and he's been a steady Eddie. He's played at right back, he's played centre half. He even accidentally went on loan to Fulham and started playing back in midfield. So what are you talking about? Oh man, you know. Anyways, as you lot can see here, Ramos in talks with PSG with former Real Madrid defender considering options as Arsenal asks for updates. So this is another thing, like with Juventus and Locatelli, our names are just being thrown in things for banter purposes because you know we ain't getting him, and probably just to hurry up a deal. I don't know why, but let's cut to the chase, people. Sergio Ramos is in talks with Paris Saint-Germain regarding a move to France, but Go has learned no deal has been done, and Arsenal have asked to be kept updated regarding any future talks regarding the former Real Madrid captain. It's Sergio Ramos, and you know, it is what it is, but away from just considering the many reasons as to we know why Ramos would not sign for this club at 35 years of age, he could probably earn good wages and he probably would deserve them wages and he'd have great mentality, but you want to be out of Europe. You want to look to your left and right and not see people who get it. You want to deal with the crap. You're going to PSG and things. So Arsenal can be kept updated as much as they want. And away from Ramos, just in terms of the man's age, I know it's Sergio Ramos, but it's hardly going to be here for the long term. He'd be a good experienced man and he'd be good for the younger players and all those sort of things. But I've got a duty to thingy that. Apparently, he feels there's still plenty left in the tank and he's hoping to land a 2-year deal somewhere that he was denied in the Spanish capital. So that means Arsenal will give him a 3-year deal. Various options have been considered by the veteran centre half. Goal can confirm that contact has been made with PSG, but there is no agreement so far as a formal offer from the French outfit is yet to be tabled. A move to the Prime de France could appeal to Ramos as there are plenty of familiar faces at PSG such as Navas, Di Maria, Neymar. He's close friends with Neymar, and the Herrera, and obviously Sarabia people. Any options you'd imagine he'd go to United. Apparently United are not involved. They're looking, you know, they're exploring Varane and Paul Torres. Apparently, admiring glances are being shot in Ramos's direction from England, with goal learning that Arsenal have been kept have been asked to be kept in the loop regarding any future talks. Goal.com hasn't been able to verify if, you know, Chelsea will sign him. Obviously, they got Thiago Silva, so he can make rumours. Shout out Spencer Eriksson, but I do not care. So, yeah, he will be going to PSG, man. They're just pulling our legs, really. But, yeah, it is what it is in that regards, folks. So, you lot can believe it if you want, boy. So what we already knew, that it was BS, in it. In terms of Reiss Nelson, as you lot already know, folks, you know, Reiss Nelson seems to be leaving. You know, two crucial bits of info with Reiss Nelson when you look at it. You know, apparently he's selling his house. You know, apparently important piece of info on Reiss Nelson. His contract expires in 2022. Arsenal do not have an option, as was reported at the time. It does not run until 2023. Extension offer on the table, as reported yesterday. If you're Nelson, you're not signing that. You're just cattle. They want to see if you can improve, or they want to just protect their resale value. They don't care about you as a person. You know, Reiss Nelson, you've probably been told you're the specialist at Arsenal and whatnot. Now you see you're not in that regards, but it's just they don't care. You're Reiss Nelson, your ability, show it. You know, don't sign a new deal to be cattle. For us, for a fan, I would love you to. You need to leave permanently if they're not going to give you opportunities, and go and show them, prove them wrong, you know. Apparently, he's put his house up for sale as well, people. Big up James for reporting such. Now, you can't read too much into him selling his house. He could be selling his house for right reasons. And obviously, he's a Londoner, so, you know, he could obviously just be getting a new house, but it is what it is. Nelson selling his house, but that's not necessarily an indication he'll be staying or going. As you lot know, he'll probably have another house. And, you know, he hasn't signed an offer. He talks about loving Arsenal, and, you know, he spoke about loving Arsenal. The manager says he trains well. If you love the club, you're training well, you're doing all you can. You have to leave. And he's at the age he needs to leave. You know, try and get to a Palace with Vieira, where, you know, the Palace's squad has to change. That could have been another option for Saliba to go to Palace, to be honest with you, because half the squad is getting torn up there. You know, Nelson needs to leave to play if he's not going to play next year. I'd love him to stay. It's a myth, though, really, isn't it, people? So that's that. It's already what we know. I wouldn't sign that deal, and there's a lot of futures to be decided. So it is what it is, people, in that regard. That's Reiss Nelson. As you lot know, allegedly, Matt Smith to Doncaster. Now, he's another one that needs to go to put himself in the shop window. He's not going to make it here, if I'm completely honest with you. I'd love to be proven wrong. As you lot see here, Matt Smith is set for another loan spell. The young midfielder is close to a move to Doncaster Rovers, in which Tyrese John Jules is there at a period. And you'd imagine Tyrese, Ben Cottrell, these sort of guys go out on loan as well, as pathways need to be cleared for the younger players, and these lot need first team football. He's been at Charlton, he's been at Swindon. Now he needs to go and show some real consistency over a whole year at Doncaster and put yourself in the shop window, because where there's so much speculation over midfield at Arsenal at 2021, that he is, having been on the cusp of things, technically winning an FA Cup, being on the bench, you're not going to get an opportunity. He was nothing more than a body last year, the year before. And you're not going to, you know, you can't rule out things, but you're not going to play. You know, Arsenal need to sign midfielders. There's speculation over all of them. You're not going to play. Minutes are currency. He's had a good foundation. He's a good player. I think if he plays on a regular basis, like he's shown in patches at Swindon, he will get a move to a decent club. So that's that in that regards, people, really and truly. That's that. So I think I ain't got nothing to speak about. Ramsdale, bloody hell. Like, if you don't want to talk about Ramsdale, we will, in it. We started it. We might as well, man. I don't know if he's the right guy. I don't know if he can ball play and all these sort of things. You know, I hope to be not even proven wrong. I just don't know. You know, it's the manager. What have we got here? The Ramsdale, was it Sander Berge? If that says Sander Berge, I'm locking that off, man. He wants Sander Berge to stay. That one is left, people. Let's just scroll down and see what can be found, man. I never expect players to leave. I know there is talk about two, and they are two of my best players. So, of course, I don't want to see them go. I'm aware of the situation with one, Berge. I'm aware of the possibilities that are out there. But him, the Norwegian guy, I also know the qualities he's got and how good he can be for us. Hot good, or does it mean how good he can be for us next season? As you can see, it says hot. So when I have a chance to meet him, to sit down with him, I'll try and make him stay with us. I will try and make him stay because of his qualities and his abilities, which would be good for us. While Berge is understood to be minded to move on only 18 months after moving for 22 million, sources close to Ramsdale insist he's happy to try and help United return to the top flight at the first attempt. So clearly, you know, that's a kick to the teeth. You know, Arsenal have come cooling. Clearly, we're not a different knock. That tells me what we know. Why would Ramsdale, you know, he only got into the England call-up because there was an injury, yeah? How are you going to get closer to the England call-up without being a number one somewhere? And is it going to be at Arsenal? Leno's still on paper. There's talk of Onana. you know, the club might have plans. The club might see him as being integral, but you look at him, is he a ball playing keeper? Is he going to be there? You know, is it going to happen? I don't know. Beyond being homegrown, what's the need? You know, he's right. He does have one of the best keepers in England, technically, but so it doesn't say much. If Ramsdale's happy, I can't blame him. I don't know if you're going to go to the World Cup playing in the Championship. You might, but I don't know, people. But for what it's worth, that's that, man. In the Championship. That's that, really and truly. Head of joining Arsenal. Raw, mad thing, really. Yeah, man. What are you lot saying? Bro, trust. I told you, look, the future managers probably will get loaned out, man. Arsenal's defensive record was a problem. You can tell me about the clean sheets to your board in the face, man. But you can see a lack of, you know, individual goals. The minutes you've conceded goals, there's many different, you know, there's many different defensive statistics you can point to. We can point to that clean sheet. You know, there was the season before that. You know, there's more than one issue, people, to be fair. There was a lack of competence, cohesion, and confidence, as you said, but defensively is there. You know, it is there. No, I just don't think he wants to give Saliba a sniff. You know, them lot are, one's a left back. You need a backup left back. You know, Albert, we're lacking in midfielders, so he'll give opportunities there. Saliba, it's a mixture of not rating him and other people there, really and truly, man. To be fair, Nelson's not given a chance, but at the same time, I've seen him start big games. I've seen him start against Norwich. I've seen him start against Newcastle. That was under Emre, and he didn't really take the chances, man. Bro, we're not getting him, full stop, man. They're forcing it, man. Trust me, don't listen, bro. Don't listen, bro. But I just chat shit, man. But don't believe what they say, man. And my problem with goalkeepers as well is we buy them and they stagnate. So there has to be something wrong with the coaching. I don't mind if Arteta plays a back three, but the back three is only as progressive as the coach. And again, if you're Woodman, why would you want to be back up? You know, you're playing week in, week out for Swansea. I know it's Arsenal and your dad was a coach here and all those sort of things, but why would you want to be back up? It don't make sense. It don't make sense. How are you going to develop? And that's it for me. Nelson's been awful, but at least with Nelson, Pepe, Martinelli, all these guys ahead of Willian, you could sit there and say, all right, cool, it makes sense. With these, I don't know, man. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But yeah, on that note, though, I'm gonna stop this. What was it said? Love and respect, DG. I'm out. Get some rest and enjoy your weekend. The silly comments don't jar me. It's like you just know you're lying to yourself. Don't let anger make you say nonsense. But on that topic, people, seriously, there's nothing else to add. So I'm gonna get out of here, people. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a long day. I actually want to shower and eat and all of these sort of things, man. So on that note, I'm gonna get out of here, man, because there's watch-alongs tomorrow. Czech Republic versus Denmark, as I said. You've obviously got Ukraine in action as well, so Czech taking that one. And I agree with you, Arteta. Well, it's gone actually. Arteta will live or die by pre-season in the transfer window. If he fails, he's catching it. For me, it's just the pre-season. You cried about pre-season. Obviously, he needs to be helped in the transfer market. You're right in that regards, man. But it is what it is in that regards, man. I'm out, man. Take care, my guys. I appreciate everybody's comments and things like that. Have a nice evening. You lot do your thing, man. What are you talking about? The man's going out on loan. What are you talking about? We're literally going off it. Gregory, please, bro. It's almost 11 o'clock. Please, bro. Go on Pornhub or something. Stop taking your anger out on me. Go and rage rank somewhere. I ain't got time for it, Gregory. Suck him up on that topic, man. It's too late, man. Anyways, peace out, people, man. Big up to everyone who has got saying. When you see Saliba go out alone, don't shoot the messenger in it. But on that topic, please hit the like button. I'm out. See you guys tomorrow. One